Jim is being interviewed by Greg Sanders from NRS. The interview was about the anticipation of Jim's confirmation to Administrator for Public Liaison with the SBA. 2:30 p.m. Central. JR is swimming at the sibling with Stoney Rosen. He found out that day while they were swimming around that Stoney was a nickname for whom his parents called Anthony. Stoney told JR that Monday was the proper day to reapply to live in Gideon House. JR agreed to go with Kevin McDonald, Dave Smith, and Charlie Nation to reapply. 3:15 p.m. Central. Meanwhile, in Gainesville, Betsy and her mother sit down to drink some iced tea. Everyone shows up. Ellen shows up with the kids. Amy, Agnes, Micah, and Forever. I can't wait to show up in Washington, D.C. this summer. I'll get to see JR and everything as long as Daddy says I have to be enrolled in a Christian school there, Forever said with a smile. I promise you. Ellen, she'll be watched over like a hawk, Betsy said. My only concern is that Washington, D.C. is a damn cesspool. My only concern is that Washington, D.C. is a damn cesspool, Elizabeth said. Bunch of crooks drinking wine and chasing women. It's not all that bad, Aunt Betsy. Frank feels now that all politicians are like Bill Clinton, Ellen said. Bill Clinton is a sneaky snake who I can't stand, Betsy said. 3:45 p.m. Central. Jared and Stoney are at the Spirit Club Library. So you're taking Jennifer Bowers out tonight? Stoney asked. Yeah, dinner at the Spirit Club. Then we're going to drop by the Sneed Snack Bar to get some drinks and sit and talk at the fountain, Jared said. You know, the person I worry about getting near her is Charlie Nation. Charlie flew to Houston with the rest of the team this morning. They're not going to be back until tomorrow, or for Brent's sake, tonight late. Charlie's hot for college girls. My concern is he's got one thing on his mind. One thing. Sex. He ain't touching my girl. The only way I see that happening is if Charlie tells her that he's really in love with her. Who knows what he'll resort to, Jared. I just don't trust him. 5:10 p.m. Eastern. In the Hendrick Mansion, Washington, D.C., the Hendrick party are having dinner. Cheeseburgers and beer. Within an hour and a half, they would be getting into a limo and driving to Capitol Hill, just in time for Jim's confirmation vote on the Senate floor. 6:15 p.m. Eastern. The stretch limo arrived at the Hendrick House in Great Falls to take the Hendrick party directly to Capitol Hill for the Senate confirmation hearings. 7 p.m. Eastern. The U.S. Senate is in session. And calling it to order, the Senate Majority Leader George Mitchell said this: "Can I hear a motion to bring the confirmation of James Ryan Hendrick Sr. to the vote?" Mitchell said. "I move that the nomination of James Ryan Hendrick Sr. be brought to vote," Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison said. "Second," Senator Dale Bumper said. The Senate goes into immediate silence as the senators cast their vote. 7:15 p.m. Senator Mitchell stands up at the end of the vote. A reminder to those in the gallery: voices of approval or disapproval may not be permitted. Is there any two senators who would like to vote or change their vote? Long pause. Hearing no objections, the final vote is this: the yeas are 81, the nays are 19, 2/3 of the majority having voted in favor. The confirmation of James Ryan Hendrick Sr. is brought forth to the President. The time of the confirmation is noted at 7:20 p.m. 7 p.m. Central. JR is having a dinner date with Jennifer Bowers at the Spirit Club. Sitting with them is Stoney Rosen and his girlfriend Sandy. 9:30 p.m. Eastern. The confirmation celebration had been led in full swing since 8:30 that night. Greg Sanders left for his house in Arlington, Virginia. Staying the night with them would be Scott Underwood, Jack and Lucy Robertson. The Robertsons would be flying to Lubbock tomorrow morning on a jet chartered by Jim Hendrick for them. 8:45 p.m. Central. JR and Jennifer are having drinks in the Gordon Hall living room. They had spent time after dinner talking in the fountain until it had gotten too cold. 9:15 p.m. JR is back at the dorm room and Kevin McDonald stops to talk to him. "Where have you been all day?" "I'd assumed that you've gone to Houston," Kevin said. "I didn't make the tryouts. Instead, Richard Trujillo went. They put them on a plane and went to Houston with Brent and Charlie Nation," Charlie said. "Well, at least he's not being horses behind and interfering with your date. I don't like Charlie Nation." 10:47 p.m. Eastern. With the party being over, Jim goes into the mansion courtyard to light a fire in the fire pit and smokes a cigarette. He takes out his old trusty ham radio, something he hadn't used in years. February 20th, 1994, 3:45 a.m. Eastern. Not being able to sleep, Jim goes into the back southeast lounge. He turns on CNN and hears the following. There apparently had been some anxiety and crisis regarding Prime Minister John Major of England. Jim loses the interest and turns off the TV. He reaches for his stereo. He turns on an Elton John CD. 4:20 p.m. Eastern. Jim goes into the mansion chapel and takes out a King James Bible and begins reading 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 1 through 4. He looks forward to the day in Washington, D.C. when he and Betsy would be reading the Bible together. 5 a.m. Eastern. 5 a.m. Central. Betsy is just waking up at the ranch. 5 a.m. Eastern. Betsy is just waking up at the ranch at 4 a.m. when her cell phone rings. It's her husband, Jim. Hello, Betsy. I missed you, Jim said. Hello, Jim. I missed you too, Betsy said. Did you get confirmed? Yes, with a vote of 81 to 19. I'm going to get a copy of the congressional record tomorrow morning. And I'm going to find out who was the 19th who voted against me. One of them I know is Barbara Boxer. The other is Ted Kennedy. I'm bound and determined to find the other 17. 4:20 a.m. Central. Jenna had been up all night, unable to sleep. A certain secretariat who knew his father and Granddad Swain, Thomas Michael Moore, had called him that night at 10:30 to say that his father had been confirmed as Administrator for Public Liaison with the SBA by the U.S. Senate 81 to 19. So he takes out his King James Bible that he had received as a graduation present in 1988 by Granddad Swain. That Bible would help him in the tough times in Austin, as well as back home and now off to college at Texas Tech. Right where Granddad Swain wanted him to be. 6:40 a.m. Central. JR is having breakfast at Crockett House with Andrew Shelford. What's your plans for the day, JR? Andrew said. Oh, church at the Spirit Club. Lunch with Stony Rosen at the Spirit Club. Maybe a round of golf with Kevin McDonald. Dinner and time at the Smead Snack Bar with Jennifer Bowers. What about you? Well, I already went to Messianic Synagogue yesterday, so it looks like I'll be staying in the library. I can't keep my fellowship I can't lose my fellowship at Royal Christian University. At risk. Tell me who owns that university. I think it was founded by 20 Baptist ministers, some American Baptist missionaries, and a Community of Christ minister. It's some kind of ecumenical Christian school. 8 a.m. Eastern. Jim was at the gate of Dulles International Airport, wishing Jack and Lucy Robertson well as they boarded the plane to head to Lubbock.